What if you removed the 10 smallest countries in the world from Earth? Well, in case you don't know it, the 10 smallest countries are Vatican City, Monaco, Nauru, Tuvalu, San Marino, Liechtenstein, Marshall Islands, St. Kitts, and Nevis, Maldives, and Malta. That's 3 countries from Europe, 3 from Oceania, 2 from the Caribbean, 1 from the Indian Ocean, and 1 technically in Europe, but completely surrounded by Italy. The 10 smallest countries on Earth combined cover a distance of just over 1,300 square kilometers. That's smaller than the city of Los Angeles, or about twice the size of Singapore. So, what would the world map look like if we started to remove each of these countries one by one? Let's take away the tiny one first, Vatican City. Removing this country alone doesn't make much visual difference to our world map. It's literally smaller than most city parks at just 0.44 square kilometers. But culturally, it's a massive change. The Pope is now homeless, and over 1 billion Catholics worldwide just lost their spiritual headquarters. Rome now has a strange empty spot right in its heart, and Italy just gained some prime real estate. The question is, would Italy turn it into a memorial or quickly develop expensive apartments? Also, where would the College of Cardinals meet to elect a new pope? The entire administrative center of the world's largest religious organization has disappeared overnight, throwing the Catholic Church into chaos. Speaking of prime real estate, it's time to delete Monaco from existence. Goodbye Formula 1 Grand Prix, glamorous casinos, and tax haven for the super rich. Removing Monaco gives France a tiny bit more coastline along the Mediterranean, but the bigger impact is economic. Where will all those billionaires dock their super yachts now? Oh, the crisis! The world's millionaire and billionaire density just dropped dramatically, as Monaco had the highest concentration of ultra-wealthy residents on the planet. The French Riviera just became a little less glitzy, and France's average income probably dropped a few notches too. The famous Monte Carlo casino is no more, and the prestigious Monaco Yacht Show needs a new venue. The House of Grimaldi, one of the world's oldest royal families that has ruled Monaco since 1297, suddenly finds themselves royals without a realm. Now, let's jump to the middle of the Pacific Ocean and remove Nauru, the 3rd smallest country. This tiny island nation of just 21 square kilometers once had the highest GDP per capita in the world in the 1970s due to its phosphate mining industry. Now it's gone, and honestly, not many people would notice it first on the world map. But this island was home to around 10,000 people who now need somewhere to go. The bigger issue is that Nauru was a controversial offshore processing centre for Australia's asylum seekers. Without Nauru, Australia would need to find a new location or change its immigration policies entirely. It's time to say goodbye to another Pacific nation, Tuvalu. RIP to one of the countries most threatened by climate change and rising sea levels. I think this here is more of a prediction than an assumption. At just 26 square kilometers spread across 9 coral atolls, Tuvalu was fighting a desperate battle against the rising ocean. Removing Tuvalu means we've lost their unique Polynesian culture and their clever use of the TV internet domain that brought in a significant portion of their national income. Digital media companies around the world are scrambling to find new domain names. Without the licensing fees from the TV domain, who owns those rights now? The Pacific Ocean just got a little emptier, and we've removed one of the world's most vocal advocates for climate action at international forums. Some evil people would be happy. Now back to Europe to remove San Marino, one of the world's oldest republics. Founded in 301 AD, this microstate completely surrounded by Italy has survived for over 1,700 years, only to be deleted from our map. Italy now has a small additional patch of mountainous terrain at 61 square kilometers, and the world loses one of its most unique political histories. San Marino proudly claimed to have never been conquered. Well, now it's been erased entirely. The stunning views from Mount Titano are still there, but the medieval towers that were UNESCO World Heritage Sites, gone forever. Also, the San Marino Grand Prix might need to find a new name, though it was already being held in nearby Imola, Italy. And the tiny nation's surprisingly successful Olympic team, which won its first medal in 2020, no longer exists to compete. Continuing in Europe, let's remove Liechtenstein, that tiny principality squeezed between Switzerland and Austria. Without Liechtenstein, the Alps lost a small but wealthy chunk. The world's largest denture producer is gone. Yes, really. Liechtenstein is home to Ivoclar Vivadent, a major dental company. The Prince of Liechtenstein is now just a prince without a country, though he still has his amazing art collection, assuming it wasn't stored in the now vanished country. Switzerland and Austria now share a border where Liechtenstein once stood, and the banking world has lost one of its discrete financial centers. Now let's head back to the Pacific to erase the Marshall Islands. Spread across 29 coral atolls, removing this nation has now eliminated a critical voice for nuclear disarmament and climate justice. The infamous Bikini Atoll, site of numerous nuclear tests, is now just open ocean. The US military has lost its Ronald Reagan ballistic missile defense test site on Kwajalein Atoll, forcing them to relocate this strategic asset. Japan now has one fewer place to fish in the Pacific, and the world has lost a fascinating culture that navigated these vast oceans using only the stars and currents for centuries. Over to the Caribbean now to remove St. Kitts and Nevis, our twin island federation. The Caribbean Sea just lost two beautiful volcanic islands with their lush rainforests and plantation houses. This removal might seem minor on the world stage, but St. Kitts and Nevis had one of the most successful citizenship by investment programs globally. Now, thousands of wealthy individuals who bought St. Kitts passports for visa-free travel find their documents worthless. What a shame. The Caribbean cruise industry also takes a hit, with two fewer stunning ports of call on their itineraries. Next up, we're wiping the Maldives off the map. And ouch, this one hits the Instagram influencer economy hard. Those picture-perfect overwater bungalows and dreamy white sand beaches, gone. No more Maldives sunsets flooding your feed. The luxury tourism industry just took a huge blow, and thousands of honeymooners are scrambling for a new dream destination. Geographically, the Arabian Sea now flows straight into the central Indian Ocean, uninterrupted. But the bigger loss? The global trade. This tiny island nation sat right on key Indian Ocean shipping lanes, so its disappearance shakes things up there too. And for all the divers and marine life lovers, the Maldives was home to some of the most stunning underwater ecosystems, from whale sharks to manta rays. Now, one of the world's most protected marine environments is just open water. And now, it's time to erase the 10th smallest country in the world, and the last one from Europe, Malta. Visually, the Mediterranean map barely changes, but culturally, it's a huge loss. Over 7,000 years of history vanish, along with some of the oldest freestanding structures on the planet. Game of Thrones fans will have to say goodbye to iconic filming locations. The Knights of Malta, one of the last surviving Crusader orders, have just lost their homeland, again. And that key strategic spot that made Malta so important for centuries? Now it's just open water between Sicily and North Africa. And just like that, this is what our world looks like without the 10 smallest countries. Visually, the map barely looks different. You'd need a magnifying glass to notice. But culturally and politically, the impact is way bigger than their tiny land sizes suggest. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like and hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you very soon in the next video.